Hello number ones, welcome back to my channel. This is the Metatron speaking. So if you wanted to take on medieval historical reenactment, who would you have make your armor? You see, this is a question that I had for a very long time, and I've spent a few months to prepare this video, because this video is a guide to help you through and to help you understand and know who the best armorers are. So we will see people who can make mail armor for you, people who can make full plate armor, whether it be 15th century, 14th century, footwear for example, and the shields. We will see my favorite site as far as shield production is concerned. So the reason why it took me a few months to make this video is because I actually wanted to make sure that I would get the right people. And believe me, all the people that I will show you have the full approval of the Metatron's channel because they are amazing. I will show you their work and it's breathtaking. I will also leave all the links to their Facebook pages down below for you to check them out. I'd like to thank both my friend Ian Laspina from Knight Errant channel, who helped me out find some of these armorers, and also Janich Koch and Martin Holman. So without further ado, let's check them out, and then at the end of the slideshow I will talk a little bit more about historical reenactment and costs. hope that you enjoyed this. Believe me, these are absolutely amazing, but I think now you have had proof enough of the validity of my statement and my recommendation. So talking about prices, you see, historical reenactment is not cheap. In fact, I think that within the world of historical reenactment, if you want to go for a armed soldier, okay, maybe the most affordable thing you could do is Roman reenactment, and I have a dedicated video on Roman reenactment and the best armorers that could make Roman armor for you that will look good, historically accurate, and I will leave a link in the description below together with all the other links that I will leave. There will be loads of links this time. But if you want to go into medieval, then much will depend on the century you wish to reenact. So if you wish to reenact an 11th century knight, then it's not going to be as expensive as reenacting a late 15th century knight, okay? And when we're talking about expensive, well, you see, plate is where things get really spendy. So if you want to go for a 12th century knight or 13th century knight, probably you can make it with around $3 to $3.5K. And as you move into the 14th century, then much will depend on whether you want to reenact an early 14th century knight, which will be, of course, more expensive than a later 13th century knight, but it will be very similar in terms of prices. But if you want to go into the late 14th century, then much more plate will become part of the set, and therefore the prices will escalate dramatically, reaching easily 7 to 8K euros. But as you reach the 15th century, then that's when things get really expensive. I think the cheapest full harness of plate that you can get, whether it be Gothic or whether it be Northern Italian, Milanese, I think you can't get anything that is worth its price for less than 11,000 euros. And of course, when you move into the best, the top-notch quality, then 15K, 20K, even all the way up to $30,000 for a full harness of plate. Now, of course, I understand that for a lot of people this will mean absolutely refraining from it, but I think, and if you have some budget, okay, and you can at the end of the day purchase things at a time, which is something that medieval people did. Of course, not the knights. I mean, the knights were filthy rich, and I will make a video on this soon. But the soldiers, okay, men-at-arms, not all men-at-arms could afford the entirety of their set altogether, and even archers, believe it or not. And if we look at, for example, English archers, and for instance the Battle of Agincourt, it's not like all of them were, because often when we imagine the archers, we think of, you know, just wearing a jacket, a jack, a helmet, and then they had a bow. But some archers had armor, and depending on the archer, some even had fully armored legs, complete plate legs at that time, and you can even find some archers who had such a good equipment, including gauntlets that normally they would just carry with them on their belt, that it was almost, they were almost indistinguishable from the men-at-arms, okay? So many of these archers, however, what they did is that they would purchase a thing each at a time, okay? Maybe at first they only had the full plate legs, and then next thing they might be getting a breastplate, and the next thing they might get armored arms, you know, that sort of situation. And that's something that you can do as well. You don't have to be a nobleman to buy yourself armor. You can just, you know, buy a piece each every several months, so that you will get to the point. But my suggestion is always get good stuff, okay? Don't get super cheap stuff. You can find, I mean, these armorers that I've showed you, they all vary in price very much. You will have armorers that are cheaper, armorers that are more expensive. So of course you will have, depending on your personal choice and what you want, and whether you want it heat treated or not, and what kind of steel you want. There are a lot of factors that, when I mentioned the prices earlier on, I was giving, you know, it was in very much general terms. Much will depend on your personal choice. But that also means that, for example, if you're fine with mild steel and you don't want it to be heat treated because you don't want to do combat with it, you're not planning on jousting with your armor, and then you just want to wear it for the looks, okay, or to reenact a night without the combat side, then of course it will be a lot cheaper. Which again, it's still good though. I mean, I wouldn't joust on that sort of armor. Although people went to war with armor that basically was the equivalent of mild steel. Not all knights had, for example, in the Battle of Agincourt, we see situations like this. And even as far as jousting is concerned, we have examples of full iron helmets, never mind steel. So the idea of there are lots of variables for the sort of material that are in questions, and they will influence drastically the prices, is also a possibility remaining still historically accurate. Okay, but I hope that you enjoyed this video and that it was useful for you. Please share it. Share it with all the people who need this information, whether it be for personal interest or whether it be because they actually want to get into historical reenactment. Thank you very much for your help and support for the channel, and I wish to thank you for watching my content and supporting. If you liked this video, please thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content from the Metatron. And remember, the Metatron has spread his wings. Goodbye.